What if I told you that millions of Americans are earning more money than any generation before them, yet somehow they're still broke? Not just struggling, not just living paycheck to paycheck, but trapped in a financial system where even six-figure salaries often feel like they're not enough. America is home to some of the richest people on earth, the largest economy in history, the most powerful corporations ever created. And yet nearly half of Americans say they couldn't comfortably handle a major unexpected expense without financial stress. So where is all the money going? Is it inflation? Is it bad financial habits? Is it corporate greed? Or is there something much bigger happening behind the scenes? Because the truth is far more complicated than most people realize. If you enjoy business, money, and hidden wealth stories, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because the truth is, some of the biggest opportunities are hidden where nobody is looking. For decades, the American dream followed a simple formula: get a good education, find a stable job, work hard, buy a house, raise a family, retire comfortably. It sounded simple, and for many Americans after World War II, it actually worked. The United States experienced one of the greatest economic expansions in history. Manufacturing boomed, wages grew, home ownership exploded. The middle class became the envy of the world. A single income could often support an entire family. But then something changed, slowly at first, then all at once. Today, many Americans work longer hours than ever before. They have more technology, more convenience, more access to information. Yet financial stress continues to rise, and that's where the mystery begins. Because if people are making more money than previous generations, why do so many feel poorer? The answer starts with a simple concept: lifestyle inflation. Most people think getting a raise automatically makes them wealthier. But something fascinating happens when income rises. Expenses often rise faster. A bigger apartment, a newer car, more subscriptions, more dining out, more convenience, more status symbols. The paycheck gets larger, but the financial freedom never arrives. In fact, many people accidentally create a financial prison built entirely from upgraded lifestyles, and businesses know this. In fact, entire industries are designed around convincing consumers that happiness is always one purchase away. Think about it. A smartphone that works perfectly well suddenly feels outdated. A car becomes old after only a few years. Fashion trends change constantly. New products appear every month. Consumer spending is the engine of the American economy, and companies spend billions of dollars every year mastering the psychology of desire. But that's only part of the story, because even Americans who avoid unnecessary spending face another challenge: the cost of living, housing, healthcare, education, childcare. These aren't luxury purchases, they're necessities, and many of them have increased dramatically over time. Take housing. For decades, home ownership represented the foundation of middle-class wealth, but in many cities, home prices have risen far faster than wages. The result? People spend larger portions of their income simply securing a place to live, and once housing costs rise, everything else becomes harder. Saving becomes harder. Investing becomes harder. Building wealth becomes harder. But perhaps the biggest financial trap isn't visible at all. It's debt. Debt has become one of the most powerful forces shaping modern American life. Student loans, credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, mortgages. For many households, debt payments consume a significant percentage of monthly income. And here's the genius of the system. Debt allows people to buy things today with tomorrow's money, which feels amazing in the moment, until tomorrow arrives. Suddenly, future income is already spoken for. A paycheck gets deposited, and immediately portions of it disappear to lenders. Banks, credit card companies, financial institutions. Money that hasn't even been enjoyed yet is already committed. This creates a cycle that can last for decades, and it's incredibly profitable because while consumers focus on monthly payments, lenders focus on something else: Interest small percentages compounded over long periods create enormous amounts of wealth for financial institutions. Which brings us to one of the most important concepts in money. Most people work for money. The wealthy often own assets that make money. It's a subtle difference, but it changes everything. When someone relies entirely on earned income, they exchange time for money. Stop working. Income stops, but assets operate differently. Businesses, stocks, real estate, intellectual property. These can continue generating income regardless of how many hours someone works. And historically, asset owners have benefited enormously from economic growth. Meanwhile, wage earners often struggle to keep pace. This creates a widening gap that many people notice but struggle to explain. The rich seem to get richer, not because they necessarily work harder, but because their assets grow alongside the economy. And here's where things become even more interesting. The modern economy rewards attention. Your attention. Every day, thousands of companies compete for it. Streaming platforms, social media apps, retailers, advertisers, news organizations, technology companies. Everyone wants a piece of your focus because attention eventually becomes revenue. The longer they keep you engaged, the more opportunities they have to sell products, display advertisements, collect data, or influence purchasing decisions. In many ways, attention has become one of the world's most valuable commodities, and most people give it away for free. Meanwhile, the companies capturing that attention become worth billions. But perhaps the most overlooked reason Americans stay broke isn't money itself. It's financial education. Many people spend 12 years in school. Some spend 4 more years in college. Yet they never learn how investing works, how taxes work, how compound growth works, how businesses create wealth, how assets appreciate, how financial systems operate. As a result, millions enter adulthood highly educated in many subjects but completely unprepared for the realities of money. And that knowledge gap can become incredibly expensive over a lifetime, because every financial decision compounds, just like interest. Good decisions compound, bad decisions compound, and time magnifies both. Now here's the twist. This story isn't entirely negative. In fact, understanding these forces creates opportunity, because once people recognize the patterns, they can begin making different choices. They can focus on building assets instead of only increasing income. They can avoid lifestyle inflation. They can invest consistently. They can learn financial skills. They can think like owners instead of consumers. And history shows that even small changes repeated over many years can produce extraordinary results. The future may become even more challenging. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries. Housing affordability remains a major issue. Technology continues reshaping labor markets. Economic uncertainty isn't disappearing anytime soon. But one thing remains true. The people who understand how money flows will always have an advantage over those who don't. Because wealth is rarely about luck. It's usually about understanding incentives, understanding systems, understanding psychology, and understanding where value is really created. The biggest secret isn't that Americans stay broke. It's that many people spend their lives playing a financial game without ever learning the rules. The moment you learn those rules, everything begins to look different. The advertisements look different. The economy looks different. Your paycheck looks different. And most importantly, your future looks different. Because once you understand how the system works, you finally have the power to make the system work for you. Good luck. Until next time.